August Friedrich Ferdinand von Kotzebue, 1761–23 March, OS 11 March, 1819, was a German dramatist and writer who also worked as a consul in Russia and Germany. In 1817, one of Kotzebue's books was burned during the Wartburg Festival. He was murdered in 1819 by Karl Ludwig Sand, a militant member of the Burschenschaft. This murder gave Metternich the pretext to issue the Karlsbad Decrees of 1819, which dissolved the Burschenschaft, cracked down on the liberal press, and seriously restricted academic freedom in the states of the German Confederation. Life: Kotzebue was born in Weimar to a respected merchant family and was educated at Wilhelm Ernst Gymnasium in Weimar, where his uncle, the writer and critic Johann Karl August Mazas, was among his teachers. In 1776 the young Kotzebue acted alongside Goethe in the latter's play Die Jesuiter when it premiered in Weimar. In 1777, aged 16, he enrolled at the University of Jena to study legal science. He continued his studies at the University of Duisburg, graduating in 1780, and practiced initially as a lawyer in Weimar. Through his association with Graf Gortz, Prussian ambassador at the Russian court, Kotzebue became secretary to the Governor-General of St. Petersburg. In 1783 he was appointed assessor to the High Court of Appeals in Reval, where he married the daughter of a Russian lieutenant general. He was ennobled in 1785 and became president of the Magistrate of the Governorate of Estonia, a province of the Russian Empire. In Reval his first literary works were favorably received. His novel Stilleiden der Ortenburgischen Familie, The Sorrows of the Ortenburg Family, 1785, and Geschichte meines Vaters, History of My Father, 1788, met with appreciation. Even more so did his plays Lied von Welfingen, 1789, Mensen Husanriu, Misanthropy and Repentance, 1790, and Die Indianer in England, The Indians in England, 1790. The good reputation of these works was, however, almost destroyed by a controversial dramatic satire, Dr. Barthelemy der Eisernen Stern, Dr. Bart with the Iron Brow, which appeared in 1790 with the name of Nig on the title page. Written in response to contention between J.G. Zimmermann and leaders of Berlin's Party of the Enlightenment, it linked each of Zimmermann's opponents to a particular sexual perversion. Kotzebue denied authorship, even when the police began to investigate the matter. This alienated both Zimmermann and Nig, formerly his allies, and also gained Kotzebue a reputation for dishonesty and lasciviousness that he would never shake off. After the death of his first wife in 1790, Kotzebue retired from the Russian service and lived for a time in Paris and Mainz. In 1795 he settled on an estate which he had acquired near Reval and devoted himself to writing. In the space of only a few years, he published 6 volumes of miscellaneous sketches and stories, Die Jungstenkinder meiner Lawn, 1793–1796, and more than 20 plays, many of which were translated into several European languages. In 1798 he was appointed dramatist to the Court Theatre in Vienna, but differences with the actors soon obliged him to resign. He then returned to his native town, but as he was not on good terms with the powerful Goethe and had openly attacked the romantic style for which Goethe was known, his position in Weimar was uncomfortable. In April 1800 he decided to return to St. Petersburg, but on his journey there he was arrested at the border on suspicion of being a Jacobin and was escorted to Tobolsk in Siberia. However, He had written a comedy which flattered the vanity of Emperor Paul I of Russia. He was soon brought back, presented with an estate in Varuu from the crown lands of Livonia, and appointed director of the German theater in St. Petersburg. Kotzebue wrote about this period in his life in the autobiographical Das Merkwürdigste meines Lebens, The Strangest Year of My Life. Kotzebue returned to Germany in 1801, after the assassination of Tsar Paul I. Failing to establish himself in Weimar's literary circles, he moved to Berlin, where he edited Der Frühmutige in collaboration with Gottlieb Merkel from 1803 to 1807. In 1803 he began his Almanach Dramatischer Spell, Almanac of the Dramatic Arts, which was published posthumously in 1820. In 1806, after Napoleon's victory in the Battle of Jena Erstedt, Kotzebue fled to Russia and, in the safety of his estate in Jarlpa, Estonia, wrote many satirical articles against Napoleon Bonaparte, published in his journals Die Biene, The Bee, and Die Grill, The Cricket. He started working for the Department of Foreign Affairs in St. Petersburg in 1816 and was sent to Germany as Consul General for Russia a year later. Some suspected him of being a spy, and this view persisted for a long time, but in modern times it has been shown to be unfounded. He reported only on matters that were already public knowledge. Nevertheless, it is fair to say he was Russia's advocate in Germany. Assassination. In a weekly journal, Literarisches Wochenblatt, which he published in Weimar, he scoffed at the pretensions of those Germans who demanded free institutions, and soon became detested by nationalist liberals. One of them, Karl Ludwig Sand, a theology student, plotted to kill him. On March 18, 1819, soon after Kotzebue had moved with his family to Mannheim, Sand attacked Kotzebue at his house. According to Alexander Dumas, when one of Kotzebue's children appeared and started to cry, Sand became overwrought and stabbed himself. Sand was arrested and carefully nursed back to health. At his trial, he protested that Kotzebue was an enemy of the German people, but he was convicted of the murder and executed later that year. The assassination of Kotzebue provided Prince Metternich with arguments to convince the Confederation to enact the Karlsbad decrees, imposing greater restrictions on universities and the press.